The definition of chivalry, the one that pops up first, the combination of qualities expected of an ideal knight, especially courage, honor, courtesy, justice, and a readiness to help the weak. And I find it ironic within that definition. Y'all know I'm big on words, I'm big on language. Um, Nothing in there mentioned how a man should treat a woman. Like nothing in there, in my estimation, in my interpretation, right? Nothing in there was specific about this is how a man should treat a woman. And it wasn't about how a lady or a woman should treat a man. It was more so speaking of how knights should just treat people in general. And I feel like maybe like the longer time has gone on, and the further west that, we traveled over time as people or migrated or whatever, like the Western definition of it kind of transformed or transcended into, how men should treat women. And that's interesting to me. And it made me think of a few things in terms of just the word itself and the definition itself. And when we think of the word chivalry, right? Does chivalry only mean how men treat women, or is there a chivalry or a chivalrous act or series of actions that apply to how women treat men? And the reason I ask that is because, like, it seems odd to have. I wonder how the definition of that word changed. How did it change? How did it change from this is how a knight treats people who are weaker than him? How did it go from that to this is how a man is supposed to treat a woman? But within the new definition, there is no reciprocal definition or notion or anything. There's not even a reciprocal thought in that. That I just found interesting, maybe just to myself. Maybe that's not interesting to anybody else. Two, the choice of words where it says helping someone who is weaker than them, helping the weak, a readiness to help the weak, a readiness to help the weak. Now imagine if we use the real definition of what chivalry was supposed to have meant, but we transformed it into this is how men treat women, but instead of saying how men treat women, this is how men treat the weak. This is how the man treats the weak woman. This is the readiness of how the strong man treats the weak woman. And I say it like that repetitively because it kind of leads me into why I do think that it's endangered. Not necessarily dead, but endangered. Because I think the further that we've kind of gone along in time, I think that it's or at least it's observed from the outside looking in, from a male perspective, from my perspective. I'll speak for me personally. It seems as if women don't want to be looked at as weak. Women don't want to be looked at as needy. Women don't want to be looked at as the damsel in distress. And over the years, that has been something that has been expressed by women over and over and over and over. I'm independent. I'm strong. I'm not going to tell you what I do need, but I'm going to tell you what I don't need. I'm not going to tell you where I'm lacking or where I'm weak or where I need more practice, I'm going to tell you what my strengths are. I'm going to tell you where I'm amazing. I'm going to tell you how strong I am. I'm going to tell you how everything that you see here was made by self. I'm going to tell you how everything that you see here was done without any help. I'm going to tell you that what you see here doesn't require any help or any assistance. And I think as men, as a man, even just as a boy growing up into a man, seeing that, hearing that, observing that attitude, that aura, that said, and said with such, I don't know if I want to say assertiveness or aggressiveness, but said with such conviction, where it's like you get to a point as a guy where you really like, I believe y'all. I believe y'all. It's to the point where sometimes men believe the narrative before they even meet the woman. Men believe the narrative before they even meet the woman. And I'm not really here to say who started that. I don't really think men started that. But I don't know if it's really my place to say for a fact who started it, because I don't know. But I don't know why men who were chivalrous, who were at a readiness to help women, at a readiness to help the weak, at a readiness to pull out a chair, at a readiness to open a door, at a readiness to throw my jacket on a fucking puddle, at a readiness to walk on the outside of the sidewalk, at a readiness to open a car door, at a readiness to schedule all of the dates, and at a readiness to bring the flowers, and at a readiness to bring the chocolates, and at a readiness to, ask you to go step, at a readiness to do all of those things. If men were at a readiness to do all of those things, why would they have changed the rules? Why would they have changed the rules? And I think when I was having a conversation with the young lady about this particular topic, I think one of my points was, if someone shows you, expresses to you, tells you, voices to you how independent they are, there's going to be a point in time where the person that if I'm telling you I'm independent, I'm fine, I'm good, I don't need no help, I don't need no assistance, there's going to be a point in time where the person that you're telling that to is going to fucking believe you. And when they fucking believe you, they're